Who wants to be my customer? Tony, tell me that you don't want to pay $700 a month for this $48,000 vehicle.
Steve, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm not paying $700 a month.
Tony, I hear you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to guess you can make the payment, you just don't want to make the payment, correct?
I ain't never paid that much, and I ain't gonna.
I hear you. I hear you. Payments have never been higher, Tony. There's a psychological barrier that many of my customers have got to battle through, and I completely understand your situation. And what I'm going to say next is going to sound a little crazy, but it is the absolute truth. Tony, you're not going to pay $700 a month to drive this vehicle, okay? That's not going to happen, okay? Now, what you will do is you will write a check every single month for $700 a month, and you will send it to the lender, but you're not going to pay $700 a month to drive this vehicle. Sounds like a riddle, doesn't it? Okay? Look, Tony, everybody knows that this vehicle's going to depreciate, right? Okay, now the good news is it's not going to depreciate nearly as fast as it used to. But here's what not everybody understands. Every time you stroke a check on a monthly basis for a car or a truck, there is a savings element to that payment. You probably think that when you send this check to the lender, that the lender keeps it all, right? The lender doesn't keep it all. Part of that is coming back to you. A fairly large part of it is coming back to you. Because Tony, after you make your 72nd payment, what comes back to you in the mail?
Title.
The title. Now it's a free and clear title. It's only got one name on it. That's your name. Now the question I've got for you, Tony, you're buying a $48,000 vehicle. If you drive this vehicle like you intend to, use it like you intend to, you don't do anything special, but you don't crash it, you don't trash it either. What do you think that $48,000 vehicle will be worth 6 years from today?
20,000.
Just ballpark me.
22 to
12,000.
Let's be conservative. Let's use $22,000. Now, you got a phone there, don't you? Do a calculation for me. Divide 22,000 by 72.
Wow.
305.55. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Tony, do you realize what that $306 represents? You send a $700 check to a lender. On the way to the lender, metaphorically speaking, $306 is flowing right back to your title. Now, I told you you weren't going to spend $700 a month to drive this vehicle. You're going to spend $394 to drive this vehicle. You'll spend $700 to own it, but you'll only spend $394 to drive it. Tony, I need your okay right there. Woo! When will this not work?
If they actually can't afford it.
If they can't stroke the check for $700, it will not work. I've done this hundreds of times with live customers. The number one reason it doesn't work is the customer looks at me and says, I can't write the gross check. Okay? The number two reason it doesn't work is they just don't buy what I've got to say. Okay? The number one customer response to it is, do that again. Do that again. The math is simple. What do you think the vehicle will be worth at the end of the term? I use the customer's number. I used to use a residual chart. Residual book I carried around was like that because I had to have a residual for every single make and model out there. Then I left it at home one day, and I said, well, I just asked the customer. Number one, the customer's number's got more validity because whose number is it?
Yes.
Number two, it's almost always higher than it really will be, okay, which works for me. So once you get that number, what do you divide it by?
Whatever the term is.
Whatever the term of the loan is. And that's literally the amount of money that the customers say. It's basically, it's a forced savings account. Because at the end of the term, the vehicle doesn't turn to dust, does it?
Sir?
Hopefully it doesn't.
Some of them.
Yeah, some of them probably do. This is a terrific, terrific payment justification tactic. For a new vehicle, it's almost unfair with a used vehicle because most of the depreciation is taking place. Well, shit. Some used vehicles are going up in value these days. The only other math is you subtract 306 from 700 to get your net payment. Now, I call this the cash value strategy. How many people in here, does anybody have a whole life insurance policy? Wes, you have a whole life insurance policy.
Yes.
I've got a term insurance policy. I make my premium payments. My policy does me no good ever.
So you're dead.
Well, if I'm dead, it doesn't do me any good. I'm dead. Does my family fine? Your policy, on the other hand, every time you make a premium payment, you're building cash value in that policy. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, his life insurance policy's got value while he's alive. He can cash it in, he can borrow against it.
Or you can use it to pay your payments.
Thank you.
You really can.
Yes, you can.
That's true.
All right? It becomes fully, what they call fully paid up then, right?
I don't know what they call it.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it either. Every time, I mean, who's making car payments right now? Tony, what was the price of the vehicle that you? Hold on, I'm gonna make you feel really good about your car payment.
I only got 2 more months.
You do me.
How much was your car when you bought it?
44,
What's your car payment?
823,
What was the term?
72.
You got 2 more payments, right? So basically, what's your car worth right now?
It's it actually appraises at 38.
Right now, it's appraising at 38.
Yep.
Divide 38,000 by 72.
About $500.
527.77.
$297.
That's what you've been paying to drive your car each month. $295 a month. I mean, it's crazy. I can apply this to a lease. No, I'm not going to. That's too complicated for you. If you can learn how to do this, I'm going to give you the word tracks to it. We'll make sure that you'll get the video of this one and the 2 I did yesterday and the 3 more I'll do. It takes just a minute to learn how to do it. The math is easy. Divide the ending value by the term, subtract that from the gross payment. That's what it costs to drive it. Okay? I always let the customer know you're paying $700 to own it. You only pay an X number to drive it. By the way, what's easier to say yes to? $394 or $700?
394.
My whole life, teaching life, revolves around making it easier for the customer to say yes. You guys have got some of the best stuff in the country. I work with 70 some odd stores, all of them really good stores. I work with the #1 volume Ford store in the USA, #2 volume Honda store in the USA, #1 volume Mazda store in the USA, #4 volume VW store in the USA, the largest CPO store in the country, the largest dealer group in Missouri. So I work with really good stores as well as yours. But nobody has got a better package to make it easier for the customer to say yes than Clay Cooley. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I buy a car from you, don't I have 3 days to return it?
Yep.
Does that make it easier for me to say yes?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, don't I have 7 days to exchange it?
Yes.
That makes it easier for me to say yes. If I'm buying a used car, don't I have a 12-month, 15,000-mile comprehensive limited warranty?
Yes.
Doesn't that make it easier for me to say yes? And when you show me my car payment in this light, doesn't it make it easier for me to say yes? Look, that's what selling's all about. How do you become a good closer? Make it easier for your customer to say yes. It's that simple. Any questions about this? Do you like it? Well, then here's the written version of it.
Stop the recording.
Yeah, thank you.